And as you breathe in, look to breathe wide into the rib cage and into your back, filling your lungs with breath. And as you exhale, gently close the ribs in and have a sense of allowing them to sink down into your hips to ease out all of your breath. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And as you start to build a rhythm with your breathing, begin to lengthen through your spine. Imagine a balloon attached to the top of your head and a weight gently drawing down through your tailbone. With every inhale, see if you can stand up that little bit taller. And with every exhale, root down through your feet, connect to the earth beneath you. In through the nose and out through your mouth. Breathe in your calm and breathe in a gentle focus. As you breathe out, clear your mind and just allow yourself to be present with your body and with your breath. Take 3 more deep breaths in and out. And when you are ready, just softly and gently blink your eyes open and come back into this space with me. Okay, we will begin by thinking about your standing posture. So we'll start with the feet and we'll bring them so they're standing or dropping directly underneath your hip bones. So just make sure you're not standing too wide or too narrow through your posture. So feet in line with hips, toes are pointing forwards, and try and have a sense of an even weight spread through the both of your feet. We're going to wake up the toes when you're ready by peeling them all up and away from your mat, and that might just challenge your balance already here. And what we'll look to do next is bring the toes down one by one, but we'll start with the big toe, just mobilizing the feet, and then see if you can fan down the toes one at a time, going with the big toe's neighbor, and then letting that follow until you come down through the little toe. And don't be alarmed if you can't do it, it's really hard. We're going to go again, peeling up all of the toes, but this time come down through the little toe first and finish with your big. And just notice if you found one way easier than the other. Little toes for me is that little bit easier than the big toes. So root down through all 10 of your toes from there so you feel grounded to beneath you. Travel up to your knees. I've got baggy pants on tonight, so you can't really see all that well. But we are placing a gentle bend through the knees just to start with. And then from there, I'd like you to squeeze the knees like you're trying to pull the kneecaps up into the quads, the muscles in the top of the legs, so that you're engaging your legs actively rather than just hanging out of your joints. From there, travel all the way up to the top of your body, so to the shoulders, and we will roll the shoulders back and down, and then back and down again, and leave the shoulder blades there. One of my old teachers used to say to me, imagine that you have jean pockets on. So whatever you're wearing, you've got little pockets in the back like you have with your jeans, and aim to get the tips of your shoulder blades just tucked in to those jeans. So it opens up the collarbone, it sets the shoulders down the back without you having a sense of really pinning them and causing loads of tension. So just gently draw them back and down. The collarbone should be open and we shouldn't be driving that chest forward. So we really want the rib cage to just balance over the hip bones. From there, bring your hands to your hips, keep the collarbone wide and the legs nice and stable. And we'll just get a little bit of movement going through the pelvis. So tip the tailbone back and then tuck the tailbone under. Tip it back and under. And don't be alarmed if this feels a little bit jerky or stilted, or sometimes it can feel impossible if it's the first time we've moved our pelvis this way. But just be gentle with yourself and have an aim to tip the tailbone back and tuck it under. Smoothing the movement out eventually the more you practice it. Now this is your range of movement through your pelvis. Everyone is going to be different. Some of us will have a larger range of motion than others. But this is just to give you an indication of where you are sitting between those 2 points. Now in Pilates, typically, unless instructed otherwise, depends on the movement that you're doing, but typically you'll be sitting in a neutral position of your pelvis. And that's optimum for when you're standing and working. So what we're going to look to do from here is try and level out that pelvis. So you want the front and the back of the pelvis as level as you can. So there should be a sense of just trying to drive that tailbone down. Imagine that weight again that we did at the beginning, where you're lengthening through the crown of the head. The weight is attached to the tailbone and it's just leveling out the pelvis. You should feel a little bit of engagement through your glutes and a sense that the lower part of the abdominal connection is just leveling off and connecting with the rest of your core. I realize there's a lot to remember. Don't worry, I keep reminding you throughout your practice. The more you do it, the more it starts to feel natural. But there's your neutral pelvis, neutral spine. Gently draw the navel back. And as we did to start with, just focus on your practice tonight with breathing wide into your ribs. Let your arms travel down by your sides from here. Tuck your chin in. We're going to start moving with the top of the body, so with the neck. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just gently turn your head to look over one shoulder. And then breathing in, bring the head back through the middle. And breathing out, do the same on your other side. In, bring the head back through the middle. And out, let's do one more like this each side. Just gently turning the head back into the center. And then exhale, finding that turn on your other side. Head comes back through the middle. And pause there just for a moment. Don't rush. This is your practice, your breath. Big breath in, and as you breathe out, tilt the head, let the ear drop to the shoulder. And just take a few breaths here. Sometimes the upper trapezius muscles here through the top of the neck can feel really, really tight. So with your breath, just try and soften into that. And when you feel ready, you don't need to follow my lead, just lift the head back through the middle and then find the stretch on the other side. And you might find you've got one side that's a little bit tighter or more restricted than the other. Mine's my right side, naughty right side. Again, a couple of breaths, and when you're ready, let that head drift back through the middle, and we'll do just one more each side. Don't rush. Spend as long as you need in that head tilt. And still make sure the arms are on the sides of the body and they're not just starting to drift forwards. So just check that in your own posture. And when you're ready, letting that head float back through the middle. Last side. Nice big breaths. And then head comes back into the center. From there, when you are ready, let the chin travel in towards the chest and take your gaze down towards the floor. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just roll your head over to one side. And as you breathe in, roll the head back through the middle and over to the other side. So you'll eventually draw a nice big happy smile with the tip of your nose, just rolling one side to the other. And sync it with your own breath. Breathing in and out as you open up through the neck. And just ease into those clicks and crunches. See what the body has to tell you today. And just nourish that neck with this gentle roll. We'll take one more each side. And then from there, just let the chin come in on your chest. Leave it there for a moment. Now from here, I'm going to ask you to place a little bit of softness through the knees. It's wise on the first roll down. We're going to really draw the chin into the chest, pull the navel back, relax the head, relax the neck, and just start to round the spine forwards. So the hands travel down towards the floor. It doesn't matter how far they go. And you can bend the knees a little bit more if you feel like you need a little bit more support through the lower back. But once you've reached your maximum stretch without any part of the foot lifting, just relax the head. Try and let it dangle. It can be nice here to close the eyes. That's a really good way to ensure that your neck will actually just let go and relax. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, we're going to rebuild the spine. So stack the pelvis first. And then we want to place one vertebrae on top of the other at a time. Still that little bit of softness through the knees. Give your body that support. And as you come up, just give the shoulders a roll back and down, all the way back up to standing. Well done, nice. So from here, we're going to get a little bit of rotation and balance going while we're standing. So don't panic. I know this looks like a Cossack movement, but we're definitely not doing that in our practice today. But we're stacking one forearm on top of the other, and then we're lifting the forearms and the elbows so that they're in line with the shoulders. The shoulders sit down the back, very similar to our setup where we were just trying to slide the shoulder blades into our jean pockets. And we're looking to try and keep this shape through the chest. So what I often see a lot of people doing this, if they're doing it incorrectly, is they'll squash the chest with the inside of the bicep. Try and maintain this shape that we've just created here. But from here, root through your feet and have a sense of being fixed in cement from the waist down. So no shimmying through the hips. This is all about the ribs. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, twist just your upper body. So twist the ribs around the spine to one side. And then breathe in, bring the body back through the middle. Breathing out, try the other side. Do your very best not to move the hips. You should feel when you've reached your edge, your maximum twist without deviating through the rib cage or the shoulders, and then come back through the middle. Let's try one more each side. Take your gaze with the forearms. In as you come back through the middle and out as you find the other side. Any sticky ribs or tightness in the shoulders will show up here. Lovely. When you've come back through the center, we're just going to switch the forearms over so we can balance out the shoulders. And this time we're going to add a little bit of a bounce to the movement. So breath in to prepare. Breath out, find your maximum twist. And pause there and take another breath in. And on your breath out, try 3 little bounces. And then travel back through the middle using your inhale. Try not to move those hips, it's really tricky. Exhaling, finding the twist. Inhale once you're there. And then exhale, 3 little bounces, just trying to get a little bit of buoyancy through those ribs. Buoyancy, wrong word. A little bit of flex through the ribs. Let's try one more each side. Buoyancy would be impressive. Come back through the center. Last one. Lovely, good. And when you're even through the ribs, don't rush. Again, your own practice, your own breath. You can let those arms come down and just give the shoulders a roll. From here, we're going to take the weight of our bodies into the left leg. Now we're going to start that twisting motion again, but I'd like you to do whatever you want to do with the arms that helps you with your balance. And we've got a couple of options depending on how proficient you are at standing on one leg. So level 1, the weight goes into the left leg and the toes of the right foot just touch down in front. And you can lift the toes if you want to, but you're not too far with that right foot from the floor. So that can give you a little bit of confidence. Level 2, we're lifting the knee up as high as we can in towards the chest. On each of those options, do ensure your shoulders are stacked over your hips, and with your arms, do whatever you like. We'll start to add layers to this in the future that will make it a little bit more challenging. Some people find a grounding sensation by bringing their hands to the top of their head. So if you're feeling wobbly, that's nice. Or you can just bring hands to hips. Now, wherever you are in this balance, foot down or knee lifted, hips are staying still. We are twisting the rib cage over to one side, so that right leg should stay nice and stable. Lift that pelvic floor up and the navel back, twist back through the middle, and then do the same on your other side. Take your gaze with the twist. Try really hard not to move these hips, it is tricky. Back through the middle, well done. Now I would love you to give this a go. Again, you've got two options. You can either close your eyes fully or close one eye and do the same thing. Give it a go. Twist to the side. You'll feel all those little extensors just creep on for you. Back through the middle. Whatever you want to do with the arms that helps you out. Other side. Back into the center. Open your eyes. And then from there, bring that right leg down. It's so hard if you think, oh, I'll be fine. And the reason it's so hard, I'm sure you know, is your sight is a key sense, and it's really important for your balance. So it's actually an excellent practice to help you find that relationship with all those little muscles that work hard for you in your body by shutting off one of your key senses. Should we try the other side? So weight now into the right leg. Toes can be down, or you can lift the knee, shoulders over hips. The hips are still, they're stable. Whatever you want to do with the arms, make it as swanky and unique as you like. Twist the upper body. Eyes are open on this first one. Let's allow the body to get used to where we're going to ask it to go. Come back through the center. And then other side. Lovely. Through the middle. This is my not so great leg, so there's going to be some dance moves occurring now. Try it. Give your eyes a close, or one eye if you're not too sure. Stay with your breath. Come back through the middle. Other side. Use that foot. Back through the center. When you're ready, open your eyes and then bring that leg down. Well done. Shake everything off. Let go of any tension that crept in there. Really nice. Well done. So from here, we're going to have a look at some squats, some squat mobility. Again, take it at your own depth, own pace. Any knee issues, you can skip this one, or you can drop me a note so I can adapt later, and I will have a think of anything on the spot here that I might be able to do to support that. So we're going to take our feet actually slightly wider than hips. So I usually typically say the insides of the feet are in line with the outside of the shoulders. That works for most, but do adjust to suit you. I'll invite you to turn the toes out slightly as well, which give us a little bit more room through the pelvis. I'll go side on so you can see what's going on through the rib cage. But we want our powerhouse, our core muscles, to stay stable and strong through this. So I often see a lot of people do this when they squat, and they lose all of that core connection. They put a lot of compression in the lower back, and we want to avoid that when we're squatting here. So think of having a magnet, if you like, attached to the rib and the hip. So it's not a tuck under, but there's that gentle attraction, just drawing those 2 points together, which keep our core tight. We want to drive back through the hips, meaning the weight through the feet transitions to the midfoot and into the heel. Whatever you want with the arms, I tend to bring mine just slightly in front of the body. And then we're bending the knees, driving the knees out to the sides, coming down to a depth that you feel comfortable with. And then from there, push down through the heels, midfoot, come up, squeeze the bum cheeks. None of this, no thrusting, but just squeeze the glutes and extend the hips so they are back into their original position. So hips back, bend the knees, down into your squat, draw that navel back, and then all the way back up. Now knee issues, I should have, keep going, I'll just waffle for a little moment. Knee issues, squats are excellent for supporting strength through the knees. But if you've got tender knees or there's some stuff going on there that maybe we need to talk about, you can either work very gently with a small knee bend, or you could perhaps practice the hips back part of the movement, giving the glutes a really good squeeze. And you can focus on squeezing the knees up, tightening from the quads, so that you've got some activity here too, as opposed to working into the squat. But maybe drop me a message afterwards and we can have a chat about those and about your specific knee challenges, because there's a lot of them. So take your time here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Looking good. Now let's try just 3 more. And this will be a base move that we come back to as the weeks progress. And then when you've done your 3, come all the way up to standing. And with your feet, a little bit of footwork. Toes in, heels in, toes in. It's a fun one to do with the kids. And bring the feet so that they are either connected or you've got a small gap between them. It's completely up to you. Again here, ribs and hips. Little bit of a traction going on. Send the hips back and bend your knees just slightly, sliding the hands down to the top of the thighs. You've got this straight alignment, this core connection built in here. Sneaky little balance we're going to do from here. So take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, try and draw the heels together. You don't have to touch, particularly if you've got a small gap between them, or you can touch if your feet are already brought together. Squeeze your butt cheeks and float your heels. Work those calves and work your arches. And then ever so slowly, float the heels back down. Well done. You can, if you wish, bring your hands off the thighs, reach the fingertips down towards the outer edges of the feet. Makes it a little bit more challenging. That's there if you want to give it a go. Slowly down through the heels. You get a nice little burn occurring up now through those quads. We've got 2 more. Floating and lowering. Just stay steady with your breath and just watch that you're not starting to stick that bottom out. Here's our last 2. Floating. Slowly down. Last one, you're doing fab. Float those heels up. All the way down through them. And then ever so slowly come all the way back up to standing. Nice. Shake everything off if you want to. I always feel like I want to shake after I put any tension through my body. So from here, take a step back so you've got the whole of the mat out in front of you. We're going to roll down through your spine and find a classic plank movement. Now from here, let your arms come down by your sides. Soft knees if you like. See how the hamstrings and lower back feels. Bring the chin in, navel back. Relax the arms. Relax the neck. And just find that forward fold. At the bottom of your stretch here, we'll just get a little bit of twisting going on. So we're going to swing the arms from the outside of one foot to the outside of the other. So just go round in that semicircle shape. Loose as you like. Dangling that head. If you want to, you can hold on to the elbows. Nice freeing movement. Go for 1 more each side and then come down with the hands. Open the eyes if you have them closed. Bend the both of your knees. And if you can, walk your hands forwards to find a high plank. Remember, you've got your knees here to give you some support if you want to. But high plank, we want the palms underneath the shoulders, inner elbows facing each other. Squeeze your bum cheeks. Spread your shoulder blades wide and just have the chin gently drawn in. Send the energy out of the crown of the head. Push back through the heels. And we'll hold here for a few moments. Don't be afraid of bringing the knees down. Keep the lower back strong by tucking the tailbone under slightly. Breathe in 1. Breathe in 2. and 3. Bring your knees down if you had them lifted. Find a rest pose, which I use child's pose stretch. So send the hips back, over the heels, outstretch the arms. If that's no good, on your knees, please find your own unique rest pose. We won't be on our knees for the next section. So take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, come all the way up to kneeling just for a moment so that you can drop your seat bones down onto the mat and swing your legs round in front of you. If you found that you're at the top end of your mat, like I am, please bum shuffle yourself forwards once or twice so that you've got support for your spine and the back of your head. I'm going to have a look at the classic roll up, roll down again this week. So I'll start with the beginner version, and if you want to challenge yourself and go a little bit further, you're welcome to. To start with, hands can either hold the tops of the shins or the backs of our knees. We start the position nice and tall, lengthening from the crown of the head. We've got the breath in, and as we breathe out, we lean back with a straight spine just for a moment, and then start to tuck the tailbone under and really draw the ribs and hips together. Come to the length of your arms. Don't let your feet float, so anchor through the heels. And then from there, allow the spine to round back up, and you can pull gently through the hands as a beginner to help you come back up to seated. So this movement is about spinal articulation, and that particular rounding through the spine allows you to integrate at a really deep level with your core muscles. We'll do that beginner one again, and if it feels like you want to step that up a notch, I'll chat you through the next one. So leaning back, tucking the tailbone under, the full length of the arms if you like, or again, you can keep them bent, you don't have to go all the way. Breath in at the bottom of your movement where you're holding, and then breathing out as you move, using the breath out for the effort to come back up to seated. A little bit harder, and lift the arms, reach the fingertips away from the body, but drive the shoulders into the back. Just ensure your knees don't collapse in on each other or kick out to the side, so keep those inside thighs strong. Big breath in, breathing out, lean back, tuck the tailbone under. Now, do not let your heels float. Maybe you can come all the way down through the spine with control. If you can, take a breath in at the mat. And as you breathe out, we are not using momentum. We are slowly peeling back up through that articulation, so through that rounding of the spine. And then once you are back up to seated, reset the shoulders. So keep that going, either hands supporting the backs of the knees or the tops of the shins, or with them floating. Now, if you've decided to step it up a notch and work with the floating, but you can come all the way down and not come back up, we need to find a halfway point where you can build up strength. So my advice would be to lean back, tuck the tailbone under, find an edge, and then rebuild from there. Take your time. Keep going. I'm just seeing a little message crop up from somebody, so I'll just check it. Aha, bless you, Nick. Big loves. Big loves. Okay, so keep working. That's fine. Let's try 2 more here, wherever we are. All the way up. Set the shoulders, last one. And make as much effort as you can to feel the vertebrae working one at a time, one piece at a time. And when you're done, bring yourself all the way up to seated and reach the arms overhead for me. I'm going to find a twist. So just check the feet and the knees are hip distance and you've not got those knees resting in or kicking out. Maintain as much length through the spine as you can by reaching up through the fingers. From here, twist your rib cage to the right. Don't let the hips move. So very similar to what we did when we were standing. Part the arms. The right arm comes down behind you and the left arm comes down in between your knees. Press the hands or finger pads down on the floor, whichever one you most connect with. And then from there, try and twist and look over your right shoulder without losing the length you've created in your spine from your reach. Breathing 1. Breathe in 2 and 3. Release the finger pads or palms, reach up through the hands. And let's do the same other side. So root down through those seat bones, rotate the rib cage to the left, part the arms, bring your left hand down behind you, right hand down in between the knees, press into the finger pads, look over that left shoulder. Breathe in 1. Breathe in 2. And 3, release the finger pads or palms, reach back up with those hands. Stretch, 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 square off that collarbone, and then let the arms come down by your sides. Nice. I'm just going to turn around so that I'm still chatting to the mic and chatting to you guys. But we're going to come down onto the mat now. So I'm going to invite you to lengthen out both of your legs. This is a little bit of a challenge. Feel free to stay with me if you can, or if you've had enough halfway through, that's not a problem. But press the heels firmly away from you and squeeze those quads so the muscles and the tops of the legs are active, so pull the knees up. We're going to float the arms to start with, and then we're going to lean back and tuck the tailbone under. And I'd like you just to round down to your lower back and hang out here. Once you're here, I'd like you to start to move the arms around. So I don't know if you've got music on in the background, but have a boogie with these arms. You should find as they come over your head, that challenges your core. Try not to let those heels lift. Have a good old wiggle. Comb your hair. I don't know if you remember that from disco dancing as a kid. And then come to some stillness. And then we're going to walk a little bit further. So to mid-back, and then try the same thing. It should be a little bit harder, or in fact quite a lot harder. So wiggle around, comb your hair, press those heels away, and when you're ready, find your stillness, and then ever so slowly down, one vertebrae at a time, harder with your legs straight, and take your arms over your head. Find a full body stretch, relax the feet, relax the arms. Nice big breaths. Beautiful. Now when you're ready, bring your arms down by your sides and bend your knees so that you've got one foot and then the other foot on your mat. Move my hair out of the way. From here, we're going to make sure that the heels are dropping directly underneath our knees, and those knees should be in line with the hips, so everything is aligned up nicely here. With the support of the floor, we're going to tip the tailbone under and tip it back. So just as we were doing when we were standing and working out what our range of movement was in the pelvis, you're going to do the same thing here with the floor. And sometimes it's easier to do with some feedback of the floor. But let's just mobilize it. Lovely. Now from here, we're going to be working into some practices call it a glute bridge, shoulder bridge. They call it both in Pilates actually. But we're going to be peeling the spine up and away from the mat. But to do that correctly, we need to make sure that the spine is in a tucked under position. So it's not in neutral, it's an extreme tuck under so that we can get the glutes fired up. So you've explored range of movement, tuck under and tailbone tipping back. So come to that position where you're trying to squeeze the ribs and the hips together. So those magnets attached to the ribs and the hips have got that bit stronger. You should there be able to just peel the coccyx off the mat and have a sense that the bum cheeks are going to be working pretty hard through this exercise. To keep the collarbone open, press the arms down into the mat, spread the fingertips wide, and just start then to peel the spine slowly up and away from your mat. Don't let those knees drift out to the side. You lose all of the impact that you're trying to build from your glute and hamstring strength. We're looking for a ski slope from the knees to the shoulders. So what sometimes I see happen is people push into the elbows too much and banana the back. That's more of a stretch than a strength-based move. We're trying to keep those ribs and hips together. And then I also see people let go of their glutes and hang into the lower back. No good for the back. So keep the tailbone tucked under and the ribs and the hips trying to madly stick together. Now from there, slowly lower down from the upper back through your vertebrae, one at a time, and try not to be tempted to let that lower back just collapse down. It really is worth that extra effort through the pelvic floor to get the rolling. 1 piece at a time. And then relax. Well done. We're going to do that again and try and find a little bit more stimulus by working with your body's own resistance to strengthen the movement. So press down through the heels and have a sense of trying to drag the heels to the shoulders this time round. And we should find more feedback through our hamstrings that way. Press the hands down, collarbone open. Tuck the tailbone right under. Squeeze the bum cheeks. Up you peel through that spinal column. One piece at a time. Coming as high as you can with the hips, but not to deviate through your ski slope. Drag those heels towards the top of the shoulders. They won't move, but create that sensation and say hello to those hamstrings. Breathe here. Now, if you want a little bit of an extra challenge, we're going to press up onto the balls of the feet so the heels lift. You don't have to do that. That's just there if you're fancying something a little bit more intense, and then slowly lower down through the heels. Try not to let those knees drift out to the sides, push back up onto the balls of the feet. You can stay with the heels down, just holding that strong if you want to. We've got one more, lifting up onto the balls of the feet, keeping the knees in line with our hips, heels down, and then ever so slowly down through the spine. Keep dragging those heels towards the tops of your shoulders, creating that stimulus for the hamstrings and the glutes. And when that lower back comes down, you can relax, and then that just feels amazing. Bring your knees in towards your chest, give yourself a cuddle and a squeeze, a well-deserved one, and just rock from side to side on that lower back. Well done. Maybe round in a circle, that's quite nice too. Just a massage, but do make sure you take that circle round in the opposite direction as well. Lovely. Back through the center. From here, keep your knees and your ankles close or connected and bring the feet back down to your mat. Take your arms out wide. Nice simple twist. These feature often in my sessions. Big breath in, and as you breathe out, both knees to the right, and just turn your head to the left to look down the length of your left arm. And once you've found the stretch, do ensure that that left shoulder is heavy. So breathe it down. And then do try and just let go and relax into that twist. Connect into your core muscles to bring the knees back through the center, and then do the same on your other side, dropping the knees over. Breathing that right shoulder blade down. Turning to look down the length of your right arm. Gorgeous. Again, using that core connection to bring the knees back to the center. Nice. Just step the feet now so they are hip distance, one foot and then the other. And then we will take a stretch for our hips. So bring your right thigh in towards the chest, flex your right foot, and then just pop that right foot on the top of your left thigh. You can carry on holding on to your left foot if you want to. I picked mine up then. And you can gently press with your right hand on the inside of your right thigh to open that hip up. To make this deeper, if that's not enough for you, lift your left foot and bring your left thigh in towards your chest. You can still create this angle by pressing into the inside of your right knee with your right hand. Or you can just release it and let the left thigh do the work. It's up to you. But breathe for one. Breathe for two. And breathe for three. Release that, place the left foot down if you step that up a notch, and then you can unhook your right ankle. We'll do the same thing other side. So bring the left thigh in towards the chest, flex the left foot. Put the left foot on top of your right thigh. Use that left hand to open up the left hip if you wish. If you want deeper, bring that right thigh in towards the chest. It's there if you want it. And don't feel like you have to do exactly the same thing this side if it doesn't suit your body. Yes, we've got the constant quest of trying to balance ourselves out. Do listen to your body and what it needs. Breathe in 1. Breathe in 2. And 3. Release that stretch, lowering down the right foot if you had it lifted, and then just unhooking your left one. I invite you to find a full body stretch from here. Lengthen out both legs and take your arms over your head, and do this in a relaxed state. So not thinking too much about posture, where the lower back is, just let your body relax into a position that feels familiar to it and comfortable. Close the eyes if you like. And start to find that breath. That breath that comes in through the nose and out through your mouth. Breathe in the feel-good endorphins you've created by moving your body so well this evening. As you breathe out, let go of the old and anything that's not useful for you in these moments. Breathe in and energize. Breathe out and just ground and be. After your next exhale, let's activate the body a bit more. So press into the heels, connect the ribs and hips, and reach the fingers actively over the head. Maybe the arms even lift off the mat. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, bring the arms down by your sides. Nod the chin in towards the chest, and give it a go. See if you can peel all the way up from there. You can often surprise yourself by slowing everything down and believing in yourself as you come up. Feel free to use your hands, forearms, or elbows to help you out as you come up. But once you are up, I invite you to sit comfortably. We'll finish with a little bit of release breath, if that's okay. So bit Tai Chi-ish, but I can't help it. It kind of just makes its way into everything that I seem to do. So sitting yourself comfortably, we're going to give ourselves a good hug. I don't know about you, but I feel like I need one. So round the back, one arm over the other. It doesn't matter which way around. And nod the chin in towards the chest and take a sharp breath in. And as you breathe out, push the chest forward, open the mouth. Breathe out. Breathing in, give yourself a lovely hug, all in your own time, your own pace. Empty your body of breath. We've got another 2 together. Breathing in. Last one. Lovely. And then relax. Well done, lovely people. So nice to share my Wednesday evenings with you. It's fast becoming my favourite night of the week. Let me know in the comments perhaps how you feel if you watch it on catch up, if you're not live. Chat to us. Let me know how your body found it and what you want from your practice next week, and we can incorporate. Thank you so much. If you want to pop in and say hi, you can, or mute yourselves if you're on the Zoom. You're still on mute, I think, Andrea. I could see your mouth moving.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Love that. I loved doing some core exercises.
Yeah. Well done.
Definitely need some of those. It's really good. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
And a bit, some things were similar for me, and then obviously some new things. That was fab as well. Thank you.
No, I'm pleased. I thought I'd sneak in a little bit more of a core challenge this week, just to see how everybody found it. So if it's something that people are wanting to do more of, marvelous.
Yeah, I love doing core stuff. Just
to
improve, really. Just to try and strengthen core. Thank you.